Welcome back to the Driveway Beers podcast with Mike and Alex. As always, we appreciate you listening. Please rate us on all the podcast platforms. Like, subscribe, comment, share wherever else you're listening, and enjoy the show. All right, welcome back to another episode. We appreciate you coming back as always. Please like, subscribe, comment? Comment. And share on all of the podcast platforms that you listen to. We've started to re-upload to Rumble again.
Okay.
So even though we have no video, I'm going to go off. There we go. Just going to unplug. So we don't get a ton of views on YouTube because we have no video, right? Well, Rumble's on another video platform, I guess you say. But for some reason, we get probably triple to quadruple the listens on Rumble than we do YouTube. The problem is Rumble doesn't have an automatic way to pull from the RSS feed to just automatically post, whereas YouTube does. YouTube just pulls it from our RSS feed and it creates the video for us. So it makes it a lot easier to do it. So basically what I've been doing, I've been downloading the video from YouTube and just uploading it to Rumble, like the extra 10 minutes.
Right.
So if you're on Rumble, look, if we can get to 100 followers on Rumble, I think we have 13 right now. If we can get to 100, we get into their creator program. Now, I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
But it sounds official.
Sounds cool.
So if you want to make us official, go to Rumble, follow us. That's the end of that.
So if you listen to Russell Brand, who's on Rumble.
You got Russell Brand, you got Tim Pool, who's over there now. You got, Dan Bongino.
Mm-hmm.
There's Steven Crowder's over there. I mean, it's more the conservative lean.
Yeah, certainly.
Which, it's funny because I feel like that's where a lot of our listeners tend to be, even though we're more liberal. But, I don't know. We tend to get a lot more conservative listeners. And they don't seem to be the angry ones. The liberal ones seem to be more angry with us than anything. So, go figure.
I like to scream and shout.
Yeah. It's like
seagulls like to shit and squawk. So, I mean.
The weird thing is like, you know, how in basketball, if two teammates are going after the same rebound, you say same team. Well, I feel like the team we were on just yells at us more.
Yeah.
For being reasonable.
Well, that's a sin.
I get reasonable is being said. Okay, for the religious people.
Anything but if they've abandoned religion, which it seems like most of them have, you need to replace it with something. So
anger.
Yeah.
Okay. Want to thank Adam Chubbuck from Douglas Realty in Pasadena, Maryland, for sponsoring this episode. Adam agreed to sponsor another 6 months of shows, which is great. We love Adam's support. If you're listening to this show and you're in the real estate market, please go contact Adam. Send him an email. Give him a phone call. He'll give you an honest opinion of what you should do in this market. It is a crazy market right now, and especially in this Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, it's only going to get crazier with a whole bunch of people getting fired. So go talk to Adam and find out what you should do. And he'll let you know. He's not going to just give you the spiel so he gets some money out of you. He's going to give you his honest opinion and let you know exactly what is in your best interest, even if it's not his. So go to tacmd.com. That's TACMD.com. Douglas Realty, Pasadena, Maryland. Team Alpha Charlie. So we have not given a health/weight loss update in, I would say, a good 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Because nothing good has been happening on that front.
Yeah, it's been a bad few months. I'm not going to lie to you. For either one of us, it seems. I mean, your arms you had a sling on, so I'd say you were probably more in the...
Yeah.
You probably had a little bit worse luck than I did.
Yeah. So I tore my biceps tendon. So what I had is a distal tear of my right distal biceps tendon. Essentially, your biceps connects up at your shoulder and then down on your forearm on the radius. So I tore the tendon that connects to the radius. And it had to be surgically repaired, which happened a couple weeks ago. I'm still in a soft cast that immobilizes it somewhat, even though it's kind of the cast itself. I've been in it for a couple weeks now, so it's starting to break down a little bit, and I'm able to have some more motion. A neighbor who's a nurse came over and rewrapped it for me because, it was starting to get really it was like, why do I have this thing on? It's not doing anything. But it's a long recovery. A broken bone's easier to heal from than a tendon. So it'll be 6 months until I can restart, be back to doing normal activities like lifting I can't even throw a baseball. Baseball season is coming up, and I coach my middle son's team, and I'm not going to be able to throw a baseball. So thankfully I'm the assistant. Thankfully the head coach can throw BP and do stuff like that.
You gotta throw lefty now.
Maybe I'll become that lefty.
Listen, but when you're done, you'll be able to throw lefty and righty.
Yeah.
And you might, find a new career in the major leagues.
Could be.
You could be two pitchers in one.
If I could learn, let's think. If I was an ambidextrous pitcher who could touch 90 and I had some stuff, I think there's some teams that would pick me up as a specialty guy.
So I'm going to break some news here. I can throw with my right and my left.
Okay.
Nah, I can't throw 90 with either. But I can throw with my right and my left, and I don't look awkward.
Right.
And the weird part, so when I was a kid, I threw with my left only.
You played a lot of first base.
I was actually a catcher.
Okay, wow.
I was a left-handed catcher, which was strange.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just kind of figured out I could also throw with my right without much effort. I didn't have to learn. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And then one day we put it to the test because we had, and this was Little League. This is 12, 13-year-olds. 11, 12, 13, that range. I don't remember the exact time. We had the kid who could just shoot BBs.
Yeah.
We had him that nobody could hit. And if he hit a kid, they were down for a week because no one could throw that hard. So I was the only kid that would catch for him. Well, one time I must have caught it really wrong, and it just popped my thumb. It didn't break it, but it was to the point where I couldn't catch more.
Yeah.
So, of course, they don't give you left-handed catcher's gloves in the equipment bag. They give you right-handed ones.
Yeah.
So we had a right-handed one. So my dad was the coach, and he's like, "You want to try it?" I'm like, in a game? I've never really done this before. I was like, yeah, why not? Threw on the right-handed catcher's mitt, caught. I couldn't throw the ball back, though, because my left hand now was my throwing hand.
Right.
No, wait. Which way was this? This is the other way around.
Yeah, well, if you're catching lefty, then your right hand now becomes the throwing hand.
So that's what it was. So
yeah.
I popped it on my right hand, and I switched it to my left.
Yeah.
But the problem is, my thumb on my right hand, which was now my throwing hand, was all jacked up.
Yeah.
So I couldn't grip the ball. Mm-hmm. So I essentially just had to keep rolling it back to him. And so I would catch it, and I'd bowl it back to him, and he looked at me like, "What are you doing?" I go, "You already hurt this one. I can't throw it back to you, dude." He goes,
"So you weren't picking anyone off trying to steal second?"
No, but in all fairness, no one was really getting on base against this kid anyway, unless he walked them.
Right.
But yeah, we were basically giving him second and third base.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
a lot of times it's better that way.
Probably.
When I coached 9U travel for one season. It's they needed a coach, and I could do it. So I had this little catcher, good athlete, but just all over the place. And his nickname became Eat It. Because the second someone starts stealing, I would just yell, I'd be like, "Eat it, eat it." Because he would always try, and he'd always airmail it over the second baseman's head. Then we gave him third. Then the center fielder would airmail it over the third baseman's head. And I was like, okay, let's stop the bleed. Don't even, just let him have second. They're going to get there anyway. So.
I mean, you want to win a lot of games in Little League? Limit your damage.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Essentially, those games at those lower levels, it becomes who commits the fewest errors. Yeah. And they, I've always said, if I was building a rec league or little league team, give me a kid that can catch and a couple pitchers, and I'll win every game. I don't even care if the kids know which end of the bat to hold. Just give me a kid that can catch and like not give up a bunch of, and some kids that can throw. So we'll minimize pass balls and wild pitches because that's where they get that's where they advance on. Mm-hmm. So if you do that, you're gonna like go up there and just get walked. You know, if a third of them get walked, we're gonna score. You know,
right? Okay, so biceps came out, had it surgically repaired.
Yep,
you're now in a thing.
Yeah,
I don't even know. It's not no more sling, so I can't call it a sling.
Well, I just didn't
it's not a cast.
I just didn't wear the
cast.
sling. So the problem with the sling is that like it starts pulling on my neck and my back.
Yeah,
and it's throwing everything out of alignment. So now my right hip hurts because I'm walking weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to keep it out of there. So like if I'm sitting, I'll just lean it on a table. It doesn't need to be in a sling for that. Now if I'm be on my feet for a while or moving around, then I'll have the sling on.
The problem is you can't put weight on it though. So like for me, I don't know if I could put my arm on the table and not lean on it.
Yeah. So, but it's crazy. It doesn't hurt. There was no pain after the surgery. The only pain I had was incision related, and that's they gave me OxyContin, and I haven't taken one of them. I've been doing it with Tylenol and ibuprofen.
Did they ask you what level your pain was?
Yeah, it's funny they do. They still do that. And one of the rooms I was in had the little chart,
the smiley face chart.
Yeah, I think it was from Purdue Pharma. Like I should have grabbed it. I should have ganked that thing.
You should have.
But like the really in pain dude, then like the smiley guy, like point to your pain level, and there was none. So either I'm a glutton for punishment, or the surgeon was really good. So I don't know.
So if people I guess people have been noticing we haven't been drinking as much bourbon.
No, here.
Honestly, I haven't drinking much at all.
I've been drinking too much.
Oh, well, I was gonna say we haven't been drinking on the show, so I do want to thank Ryan from Michigan sent us 2 bottles of bourbon / whiskey. I don't know what to fucking call it.
I think they're both bourbons. They both are.
But we haven't been trying it. We will get to it though.
Yeah,
we will. We've also been recording weekends, daytimes. So, daytime drinking, a little bit frowned upon.
Well, okay. So I am a huge fan of day drinking. I wish I had discovered it earlier in life, and I would have spent many fewer days hungover till, sleeping in college till 2:00 in the afternoon.
All right.
Day drinking is really where it's at as an adult. I think about all the stuff that's structured around adult day drinking. Golf, number one. The game's secondary to the day drinking. Fishing. I mean, I've never been on a fishing boat where we weren't cracking beers at 5:30 in the morning. Let's see. Tailgates.
It's more special occasion, though.
Right. I'm not going to sit there and start pounding booze at 9:00 on a Saturday morning.
Right.
Unless there's people around me who are doing the same at an event.
So what you're saying is we should do a tailgate show to make our morning drinking more acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but no, as of late, I've been, because I don't have a whole lot to do in this recovery. So after the kids go to bed, I pretty much just sit in my chair because with this injury, I shouldn't be sleeping in my bed because if I roll over on it funny. So I sleep in my recliner in the living room and I watch movies or binge watch shows and drink bourbon.
So you're essentially an 85-year-old man in a nursing home.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's not a bad life. I'm kind of digging it.
I've said this for at least 10 to 15 years. After I saw so my in-laws used to live in the Villages in Florida. It's not a bad life. You just drive around in a golf cart all day drinking.
Yeah.
And going to restaurants and doing stuff with other people your age who also have nothing else to do.
Right.
Maybe you play some pickleball. Maybe you play some golf, tennis, whatever you do. You got time for it now.
Yep.
I mean, if you live to retirement age and then go to a place that's designed for retirees, it's a pretty fun time.
It's like summer camp for old people.
Pretty much. and the single ones are just throwing herpes around like crazy.
Oh, yeah. So my buddy's dad, when his mom passed away, he moved to a place like that. And, for an old guy, he's still in relatively good shape. He's an affable dude, so he's just slaying it down there. And he had to talk, like, hey, Dad, it's like he had to have to talk with his dad. Like,
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, now with the drugs, it's not like it doesn't work anymore.
Right. And they don't have to worry about getting anyone pregnant.
Definitely not.
So they're like, he's like, you don't know where these ladies have been.
Got a bunch of ladies in heat, just with a lack of men.
Yeah.
Because, they die earlier.
Right.
So if you're one of the survivors, that, it's almost like, think about it. It's almost like sperm again.
Yeah.
You're the lone survivor.
Yeah.
And you get to go in all these women.
Yeah.
It's like the circle of life. But yeah, I don't know. Like when I retire, I don't know what my wife's going to want to do. I don't know if she's going to want to go. We've never ever talked about going to Florida. And like into like a retirement community.
I've talked about getting the hell out of Maryland a lot.
Well, that's a whole nother topic.
Like, not just as like in the next couple years, like, bye-bye.
I've definitely talked to my wife about that because the taxes here are crazy. Again, the regulations are crazy. I mean, Hogan left. The state had a huge freaking cash reserves. That's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Listen to that episode. That
could be another episode.
It can be and probably will be. Health. So you got your arm fixed. You also have other news.
Yes. So in the midst of... Prior to injuring my arm, I ran into a buddy of mine at a funeral, and
it's always a good start to a story.
Again, we're getting older, so you meet your friends at funerals. Right. So I ran into a buddy of mine at a funeral, and he looked like a different person. I hadn't seen him for a while. Probably been over a year since I'd seen him. But the jacket he was wearing, it looked like he was a little kid wearing his dad's suit, And I was like, dude, you okay? He's like, yeah, man, I feel great. I said, what's going on? He goes, well, I had bariatric surgery. And I said, oh, okay. So to this point, he's lost, I think 92 pounds since October and, feeling great, looking good. So I said, I've thought about that before, considered it, but I said, and he goes, let me guess. You thought it was cheating, and you were afraid of it. I said, exactly. He said, first of all, you're not getting any extra points for doing it one way or the other. Mm. And all these Ozempic people are doing it. Is that cheating? I said, kind of. He goes, yeah, but is it? Like, who cares?
Right.
Like, if you live longer in the end, no one's going to say, you know what? You don't get to enjoy the benefits because you didn't do it through diet and exercise. You did it through a procedure or this or that. Okay. And he goes, and fear-wise, he's like, they keep you overnight in the hospital, but it could be an outpatient procedure, what they do. Like, they do it, he has 3 incisions in his abdomen. I think the longest one's like 2 inches long. So
before you go on, is the bariatric surgery the lap band, the sleeve,
he had
or
sleeve.
Gastric bypass?
Sleeve. So
okay. The
3 big ones, you get lap band, sleeve, and bypass. And then there's a 4th one called a revision, which is where someone had it before. Mm-hmm. And they need to go in again and generally that's because they found a way to eat around it.
Yep.
And some people do. I have another friend that had bypass done, and he found a way to eat around it.
Yeah, my brother had the lap band, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It made him sick. It made him nauseous. So then he ended up doing shit. I don't know if he did bypass or if he did the sleeve, but he's lost like 80-something pounds.
Yeah.
It's probably more than that now. But the first like 4 months, you just drop weight because you're not eating.
No, and you can't because your stomach's healing. Right. So you have to go on, like the first 2 weeks after your procedure, you're on a liquid diet. Mm-hmm. Clear fluids only, and then you start gradually adding food in. And pre-op, you have to go on a pre-op diet as well. And there's a whole bunch of, you have to take classes, have all these clearances done. So I have they gave me this book that has all of these different, it's like a chart, right? And it has the procedure, provider, date, results, all that stuff. So I went through and made all my appointments since, again, I don't have a whole lot to do. So I'm just sitting there, please press 1. If this is an emergency, like I wish I could skip all that.
Right.
Like there should be the button where the snooze rings. If you're not a moron, press this button. Press that button, you know? So, but the sleeve, I thought the sleeve was like an object they put over your stomach, and it's not. They actually remove, your stomach has there's different parts to it, but everyone has a part of the stomach that's more elastic, that can expand to hold a lot more food. It removes that part.
So it's like is it like shapewear?
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, they don't put
holding it in.
No, they're just cutting it off.
Oh.
So they are removing some of it, but essentially it makes your capacity smaller. Which then, once the stomach feels it's full, it sends a hormone to your brain called ghrelin.
Right.
With me, my stomach can expand to such a point that signal never gets to me until it's too late, and I've already just pounded. Like that's how I can crush a pizza, like down insane amounts of beer, like do it because it's just. And as you work it out, it gets more and more able to hold more. So that next thing you know, like I just keep going. You know.
So is that the reason for the expanded midsection? Like for me, I've got a bulbous front end. Mm-hmm. Is that what that is?
No, because it would go down as the food left.
Okay.
You know, it would retract, like go back to its normal size.
Gotcha.
And this is complete layman stuff after watching the video, and the surgeon had like a stomach stuffed animal that had like the different parts. So I had started that process prior to injuring my arm. Mm-hmm. So it was weird. On a couple weeks ago, the Wednesday I went to the consult for my arm surgeon. The next day, the Thursday, I went to the bariatric place, and then Friday I had the procedure done on this. So it was like bam, bam, bam. I've spent more time in doctors' offices this last month than I ever had before, but there's a bunch of steps you have to take. So my surgery is scheduled for May, and I've just decided it's enough. I've tried the crash diets, fad diets. Some of it's, I just don't have the discipline. Mm-hmm. And, there's going to be people out there like, oh, you're soft, you're this, you're that. Okay, well, you know what?
They ain't the one that's got to live in the body.
Exactly.
So who fuck them?
And here's the thing. Like, I won't fly on an airplane right now because I'm not going to fit in the seat. I'm going to be miserable for the length of the flight, so I'm not flying anywhere.
Right.
When I go to sports events, I love going to see the O's play. I'm miserably uncomfortable to the point where I don't want to go.
Right.
Because I know I'm going to sit there and be miserable for the length of the game. I'm not going to enjoy the game. I'm not going to watch my kids enjoy it. A friend of mine has really good seats on the third baseline at Camden Yards, and like these seats are awesome. But I don't want to go because it's not only am I fat, I'm also tall. So it's like I'm just shoehorned in this tiny little seat because Camden Yards wants to have that old timey ballpark feel.
Yeah,
Nats Park's much more comfortable.
So what happens when you can fit in the seat sideways, but your knee still hit the because you didn't get any shorter?
Well, see, the thing is though, I'm going to be losing like I guess inches on my backside too, so I'll be able to sit deeper in the seat. Because I have a fat ass, right? So like if you're sitting there,
I don't know that. I mean, your back is your back.
There's fat there. It goes away.
I mean,
you get
when you touch
smaller.
your back, you can feel your spine.
Right. I'm talking about my butt and the butt part.
I guess. I don't know.
I think of it as a basketball, right? So take a basketball and put it there, and it takes up X amount of space.
Yeah.
Take some air out of the basketball, and it'll squish into that space better.
Yeah, but we're talking about like your butt bone to your knee. That ain't changing.
There's some fat on the backside of that.
Yeah, but if you're doing squats and stuff, you're just going to turn.
Oh, it's not solid muscle back there.
No, but here's the thing. But as you change it, I mean, don't get me wrong. Is it going to get a little bit strong? Sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of that back there, I mean, think about it. That's a lot of gluteus maximus muscle.
I'm not trying to lose muscle mass.
So. Right. I'm just like, I would say if you lost cushion, it would make you shorter, like vertically, not horizontally.
Well, I think
you're sitting in a chair.
But I also think that because the chair is only so wide, mm-hmm. I tend to sit on the edge of the seat rather than back deep into it.
Okay.
Because it's just, everything's kind of scrunched. Right?
It's a good experiment now.
Yeah.
Now we get to find out.
Right. We'll see.
Do you get more knee room by losing other things?
Yeah.
Okay. My theory is no.
Okay.
I still think your knees are going to be pressed in. You're going to be like, fuck, I hate this shit.
Yeah. Now, these particular seats are right. There's no seats in front of them. So there's like a rail there. So it's like a hard stop.
Oh, but you can kind of stick your legs through.
Because it's got...
It's only the 3 rails.
But it's got horizontal things, too. My knee hits right on one of the freaking rails. It's like the perfect height.
So you can't... Well, I mean, maybe the vertical change will bring your knees down.
And then also be able to sit deeper into the seat.
Yeah.
Because if I sit all the way back into the seat,
it
squishes my legs together and kind of crunches the boys.
Yeah,
there's going to be less fat there.
Honestly, that's painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you slowly feel one of the boys move, like they're reorganizing to fit into the space that they've now been allotted.
Yeah.
And like when it's like you feel it, doesn't feel good, and then it kind of does that final move, and it really doesn't feel good. It's almost like you got kicked there.
Yeah.
But then eventually, it feels fine because the boy's settled.
Right. They should be hanging side by side.
Yeah. No.
They end up going front to back.
Or up and down. Or north and south. Yeah.
It's like you've got like Maverick and Goose.
Yeah. Right.
So it's Top Gun as opposed.
See, I would think they would go this way. Not so from here to here.
Yeah.
Not front to back, but top bunk, bottom bunk.
Right.
Yeah.
But they should be like next to each other.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the natural. That's the natural way things go.
Right.
But, certain things get in the way.
Like 2 small seats.
Yeah.
I try to figure out who designs these things.
The seats, or nuts. I mean, God
designed the nuts. I'm not going to question his. I do question some of the design choices.
I'm not above questioning. I mean, some of the things could have been done a little better in there.
I don't think they beta tested any of this stuff.
No.
But like the seats on all these, like at a ballpark, so Cap One Arena has more room than Oriole. Camden Yards is the worst. That's why I like sitting in the bleachers.
Yep.
Out at like right center near the bar there. And plus, if you want to catch home run balls, it's a good place to be. But I like sitting there. There's no arms, right? I hate chairs with arms. It's not made for people who are large. Airplanes. Everywhere. Oh, Americans are 60% of Americans are obese. Airplane seats keep getting smaller.
Right. Yeah, they didn't help it out.
No. So it's like those seats, and people say, no, they don't. Like, yes, they do. They're.
Yeah, my wife's trying to get me to go on a plane for a longer distance than 2 hours.
Okay.
My limit is 2 hours. Now I'll fit, but I'm also I've got the arms folded in front.
Yeah.
So trying to limit the width, so I'm not intruding on other people's spaces. Right. I'm not making 3 hours, 4 hours like that.
Yeah.
I need the extra width. So I told her, it's like, okay, maybe I'll do business class. Well, American, domestic business class sucks.
Yeah.
Like international business class, you could take that. It's better than a first class seat domestically. The only thing with first class, now first class costs like 4 times as much domestically, but you get 21 inches versus 17 across. It's a big difference.
Yep.
But I don't really know if I want to go to California that bad. So my wife took the kids to California to go see a friend. I didn't go. I stayed with the dog.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't want to be on a plane for 6 hours.
Isn't the dog a great excuse to not do things?
It is. So part of it is the discomfort. The other part for me is my brain starts to think about being in a tube not close to the ground after a certain amount of time.
Right.
And so I remember it happening when I went to Spain when I was 17, class trip, and I think it was hour 3.5. I put my feet on the floor of the plane, and I was like, I'm nowhere near a real ground. And I started like, and of course that just started the thought.
You're held up there by magic.
And I'm just like, I'm looking around. I'm like, oh boy, like, and this was back when there was no entertainment on a flight.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the screen showing where
Cathode
you were over the Atlantic.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, so this
And you
is where
look
I'm gonna
out,
drown.
it's just the black abyss.
Yeah. Right, and it was a nighttime flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nighttime. Like, I'm like, okay, so basically this map is showing me where I can drown.
Yeah.
Thanks. And so, yeah, that didn't really help. But now she wants to go to Europe. And I'm like, fuck. So she's saying she's going to Europe and because she wants to do this before she gets too old to enjoy it. Yeah. And I completely understand that. Like, you don't want to go and, like, who knows if you're going to make it to 60, 70 years old. So go while you can.
Right.
And I'm just thinking, okay, it would take about 6.5, 7 hours to get to Heathrow from here. That's about as short as it gets, is a 6-hour flight from Newark to Heathrow.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make that flight if I do business class? The answer is probably yes now.
Yeah.
Because they have those in-flight entertainment systems, the live flat seats, if you want to sleep through it. Or do I get on the plane and I'm having a full-blown panic attack for the whole time, wanting to die?
The flight back's worse.
I'm sure. Yeah, because the jet stream's longer.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, shit, just let her go and enjoy herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I do it, she's going to be worried about me
Right.
having a full-blown panic attack and having to use the free healthcare system over there, wherever we go. So I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. So, okay, so you're set up for the surgery in May.
Yep.
And then, I mean, you're probably going to lose a shit ton of weight through like August, September.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be what, the 80 or so pounds will drop.
Yeah. And I'll have to buy new clothes, which I'm not looking forward to. But that's another thing. Like, I have never enjoyed buying clothes. I hate it. And
Why don't you take a look at the brands you have now that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Just buy them in smaller sizes.
So, my wardrobe is supplied by Amazon Essentials.
So, my shit's from Walmart, dude.
And because I don't care about brands.
Neither do I.
The only stuff I'll go for brands is shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And shoes are because, like, I have wide feet. So, like, New Balance is good. Yeah. Anything that has a big toe box is kind of what I need. So, that's why I go with brands for shoes. I can usually be observed in the wild wearing, like, joggers or gym shorts or a bathing suit, depending on what time of year it is. Sweatpants, you know.
Yeah, look, this whole men wearing joggers thing, it's got to stop. Men shouldn't be wearing joggers.
Well, that's the style that's out now.
And yeah, no, I'm sorry, but it's like the boys wearing the short shorts.
Yeah.
So all you're seeing is fucking like boy camel top.
Yeah.
Can we stop with this?
Well, I have a couple pairs of them, so I'll wear them until they get holes in them, and even beyond.
I mean, people are already seeing through them anyway.
Yeah.
At this point,
well,
we don't need to see men's balls.
Well, the joggers are. I mean, they're not leggings. They're just tight in the calf.
They're close.
Mine aren't tight. I don't wear tight stuff. They're just tight in the
on
calf. Yeah.
That's what bothers.
Which is my most.
Look, I got beautiful calves. Yeah. If you don't have to see the chalkiness because they're so dry. So the joggers are great for my calf definition. I mean, but I don't know. I've got a pair.
Now, at the risk, so I do have, when I was riding the Peloton a lot, so I have a pair of Under Armour heat gear, right? So they helps keep you cooler. They go all the way down to your, they're full length.
You're going to tell me you have a onesie, aren't you?
No.
I thought that's where this was going.
No. So they're leggings, essentially.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wearing these leggings. Now, first of all, I think leggings are like the best invention ever as far as women's fashion goes.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think any red-blooded American male is complaining about the prevalence of leggings.
I want all leggings all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was wearing these leggings to ride the Peloton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just down in my basement, so I don't put shorts on. I'm like, no, who cares? Someone's down here. If you're down here and you don't like what you see, go away.
Let your male camel toe fly.
Yeah. So I'm riding the bike, and I come upstairs afterwards. This was during COVID. So I'm wearing the leggings, and I was like, And my wife's like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "You wear them." She's like, "Yeah, they're not for you." I said, "But they're comfortable." And I don't want to see a bunch of like junk hanging around, but I can see why you ladies, all of you, wear these things all the time. I got to drop the kids off at school, and the teachers are all wearing them. I'm like, "Are you guys working, or are you at the gym?" Like,
And not all leggings are made the same.
no.
Some accentuate things more than others.
Oh, there's special cuts because it's all my Instagram feed's full of the leggings that are cut for like to make their butt look better, that go up into the crack so you can see. Then you, like Joey Swole has a bunch of videos where there's always some girl like getting pissed off because someone does. Well, lady, you're naked.
Yeah.
You're essentially you've got.
Your leggings are going up your ass because you're not wearing the right underwear.
Right.
Okay, yeah,
Or any at all.
or right, and that could be by design.
Right. And what I always find funny about those people is they get all pissed off when someone in the gym looks at it,
Yeah.
but then they post it on TikTok or Instagram for everyone else to follow it. It's like, so this guy's bothering you because he looked at you, but you're putting it on here, and all of your followers are like creepy dudes.
That'd be like the hooker being pissed off that the guys who are driving by see their titties hanging out, but not mad at the John who's paying them.
Right.
Yeah. No, that you don't get. That's not how it works.
Yeah. So that's neither here nor there.
No,
But
definitely not in the health and wellness category.
Yeah. But I was going to delay the surgery till after the summer, because one of my favorite pastimes for the summer times is to sit on the deck of the pool and drink beer.
Right.
But
Yeah, carbonated drinks are gonna be tough for you.
yeah,
In fact, I don't think you're allowed to drink the carbonated drinks.
no, they kind of there's a whole bunch of restrictions. But here's the thing, and I thought, why would I delay this procedure to engage in the behavior that got me into this position in the first place?
One last ride.
That's
It's the one last ride theory.
That's my problem now. Is I'm kind of like, I'm gonna.
I might as well shove it all that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be gone anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll come off in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Might as well chug it down now.
Which is probably the bad attitude to have.
Yep. Because here's the thing: after you get it done, as time goes on, if you don't fix the habit, it's just like when you lose weight on a diet.
Yeah.
If you don't fix the underlying problem, it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
And now, so I know 3 people that have had gastric bypass. They've kept a majority of the weight off.
Yeah.
But they aren't as slim as they were before they started eating solid foods again.
Yep.
It's come back because the habits came back.
Yeah.
And if they're not, I mean, think of it this way. If you get it done in your 40s, you've gained all this weight, for 40 years.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're basically hitting the reset button. You're going to lose all the weight, or a lot of it. But as soon as you start to eat again, in 10, 15, 20 years, if you ate like you did, because you're able to again, slowly, you're able to ramp up the eating again, you're going to gain the weight back.
Right.
But you're not going to, and this is going to sound not right, but you're not going to gain it all back in 10 to 15 years because it took you 40 to get there.
Yeah.
So you're still going to be smaller than you were.
Correct.
However, that's where people like they get it done. Like, oh, I'll still be able to eat the same way I ate before. No, not how it works.
No, and I think one of the important things is to realize that, hey, I can survive on eating this. I don't have to go to Five Guys and I don't have to go to Five Guys at all.
Right.
Not
gonna be able to.
Yeah.
Like that burger there, you won't be able to eat.
Oh yeah.
Because you'll throw it up.
Oh no, I was talking. So
stuck.
my buddy, like I met up with him for lunch, and he's walking me through the whole thing. Now, he had his procedure done in October, and since so now we're looking at October to now, however many months that is, 4 or so. He's still while we're eating lunch, he had this little 4-ounce thing of shredded chicken, and he had it seasoned and stuff. So and then another thing of spinach, and he could barely finish it.
Yeah.
He had to slow down. like I get after I've had my 7th slice of pizza. He was there after 4 ounces of chicken.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, I can survive on this. And there's a bunch of, you have to do, supplements and stuff because you might not get the nutrients you need that you normally get through your food. So I actually had to take a nutrition class. I did it yesterday. It was all about supplements, the importance of them, and the ones you should get, and why, and all that. So, it's definitely it's not one of those things where it's like, we're going to throw a switch and I can just do whatever I want. Like, no, it's not magic. So the people that usually defeat it through sweets,
right,
like chocolates and stuff, because
sugar's the enemy.
Yeah, and sugar is something that, everyone thinks sugar, it's a solid, but once it hits water or it's heated up, it becomes a liquid. And it's very easy to just suck sugar down, and it's bad for you anyway, and you can get a lot of it. You can defeat it that way. If you're a sweets person, you can defeat it easy. Luckily, I'm not a sweets person. I could do without it.
Well, for people that don't know, sweets and sugar in general, when it gets metabolized by your body, it turns into fat, and it essentially ends up becoming the worst kind of fat, which is that visceral fat, which ends up part of your organs and, or sticks to your organs, which makes the organs not function as properly as they should. So sugars are a real enemy, and carbohydrates, and all carbohydrates are bad, but sugar is the worst type of carbohydrate you can get in your body. So, I'm gonna ask you this, and because I've got to do this anyway.
Okay.
So when I lost that 40 pounds initially, it was through mostly only allowing 40 grams of carbohydrates a day.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done that. I've been very undisciplined with it. But I was going to attempt to go back on it, but I think I need someone to do it with me.
Right.
In order to keep me and the other person accountable. So I was going to see if you wanted to do it. But that would also mean, but it also means the lead up to your surgery, your last ride, so to speak, would have to be cut short.
Right.
So I'm not sure if you would want to do this.
I could do, so one of the issues I have now is that because of my arm, I can't cook. Right. And I'm the one that cooks all the food in the house. My wife, she can make some things, like spaghetti and meatballs and chicken cutlets, stuff like that, doesn't fit. Like, I can go and make a low-carb type of meal that's really good. I can prep it for a long time. When I have full fun, like, I can't chop up peppers or onions or any of that stuff right now. So the cooking I've been doing is stuff that I can do with one hand. So, like, I'm making a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches and meatball heroes and things like that just involve, like, okay, I'm going to dump frozen meatballs and sauce in a thing, heat it up, and then assemble a sandwich with some provolone cheese, and there we go. There's dinner. So
I even do less. I do less work prep wise. Mm-hmm. So for me, and I was gonna simplify it for myself. If it's not chicken, beef, or seafood, then I wouldn't eat it.
Okay.
So, like shrimp, frozen shrimp, you can boil it.
Sure, steam it, saute it.
Right. Just to unfreeze it, whatever.
Yeah.
Chicken, I can always bake it until the grill season comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with steak. You can bake it until grill season comes. If I'm coming to the realization of, okay, this is not going to taste great, but I need to get rid of that mindset of what I'm putting in my mouth needs to be satisfying to my brain.
Yeah.
I need to get back in the mindset of my body needs this to survive. My brain doesn't need this to be happy.
Right. You're looking at the food is medicine thought.
Yeah.
Or eat to live, not live to eat.
Yeah.
So, like, I like to make food that's good and that I'll sit there and, like, ooh, I'm going to crush this. Or like on Pizza Monday, I get excited.
Right. Well, and so the other part of this was there has to be a carb day. Mm-hmm. Going kind of building off of that Vinsanity guy.
Yeah.
You have to cycle your carbs. So if you had one day for carbs, you can make yours Pizza Monday.
Right.
Just instead of having half a pizza, eat 2 slices and be done. You got to think, you don't need more than 2.
No.
So if you just had your 2, be done. Mm-hmm. 1, you'd save a lot of money.
Yeah.
But 2, it would kind of eventually solve the brain part of, I really want pizza.
Yeah.
It takes the unsustainable part out of it. Mm-hmm. Because you can have your pizza.
Yeah.
But you still got to make sure you're not tipping the calorie count to the point where you're undoing your calorie deficit, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like don't let your weekend ruin your week of work,
right?
Because really, it all comes down to consistency over time. So, like, if you're good, say you're super good half the week, and you're just a complete shithead the other half of the week, you've pretty much canceled out those good 3 days you've had.
Right. You went net zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually you can get to that point where you can be net zero.
Yeah.
But right now, I got to be net negative.
Yeah.
So the other part of this is, and you already tried this, and the semaglutide didn't work for you.
No, it's it where I was taking the highest doses, and it was also freaking expensive.
Yeah. So my doctor wants me to go on to the Mounjaro equivalent. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try it again, even though I had a bad experience with the semaglutide. I am going to try the Mounjaro if this insurance figures it out. If not, I got to go to the compounding route, whatever. Yeah. So eventually I'm going to try that as well, which I'm hoping will curb other cravings. Because I am guilty of all of that. I work from home. The it's there. It's readily available.
Yeah.
Generally, though, I was when I went through the part of the low carb thing, I was okay with sticking with it, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was like I got drunk off the success. Like, oh, I can do this now.
Oh yeah,
I got this. I can modify this.
What happens to me is when I'm good and I'm doing well, I'll get to a holiday or holiday-ish type deal. Mm. And it could be not even a real holiday. It could be something like, oh, we're going to go to someone's house for a party. Or we're going to go, it's someone's birthday. Or like, ooh, and that turns into like 3 or 4 days of just freaking binge on a bender. And then it kind of continues. And then all the work that I put in, on the exercise side of it, I always manage to get myself injured somehow or sick.
Right.
So I was doing really good exercise-wise until 2 things happened. I got sick with that stupid whatever the hell lingering cold that people seem to have for like a month and a half.
Yep.
I had that. And then right after that, this stupid thing. So, no one can see it's the arm. So that's kind of been like...
You're not pointing to your dick.
Right, yeah. Not that. So, but yeah, this stupid thing kind of derailed all that progress.
Yeah.
And now, so I don't work out of the home, so like now that I am sitting at home doing nothing, I'm like, let's peruse the cabinets. Like, I'm bored. I'm going to make some popcorn. I'm going to do, so it just gets into this...
So here was the thought. If we try this, because as of today, it's February 13th. Mm-hmm. That's March, April, May. That would be 3 months until your surgery.
Yeah.
If in 3 months you dropped 70 pounds doing this, would you still have the surgery?
I don't know.
Especially if you thought you could continue it.
Yeah.
Because for me, surgery's scary.
See, I just had it, so I'm like all about it. I'm like, let's do all kinds of stuff.
But I always, and I don't want to say this because I know it'll get in your head. So I'm just going to say, surgery with the anesthesia stuff gets in my head.
It got in my head. I'll tell you what, like when they put that thing, and they always tell you something different. Mm-hmm. Like they put the first, when I had my colonoscopy, that was propofol. So it was like just an injection. Mm-hmm. This was like full on gas, right? Oh. And then they intubate you. And when they're telling me all these, because I went and read, like through the MyChart app, I was able to see like all the shit they did. And I was like, they did all that to me? I don't remember it. Of course you do, because you're knocked out. Like you inhale the gas, you're gone. Next thing you woke up, it's all over with. Yeah. My thing is, what if I don't wake up? But then if I don't wake up, I'm out. So I didn't know the difference anyway.
Yeah,
it's like practicing beat. That's what dead probably like.
You just don't know.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I gotcha. But if you could avoid it, would you avoid it?
Well, see, if I lost 70 pounds, mm-hmm. I'd still be a candidate for it anyway because my weight's that high.
But here's like I said, but if you do it. And you're like, you know what? I could continue this. Mm-hmm. No problem.
Yeah.
Because again, we're not cutting everything out completely. It's 6 days a week. Fish, chicken, steak, or ground turkey, or whatever. So for example, like tacos, you can still do your ground turkey. Mm-hmm. Or ground beef.
Yeah. Because if you're getting ground turkey, if you compare the side by side, you're not really.
No, but okay, any ground meat.
Yeah.
All right, ground chicken, ground turkey, mm-hmm. ground beef, whatever you're doing taco night. You season it still the same way, except instead of a tortilla, you got the lettuce.
Yeah,
and that's your shell. You still got taco night.
A lot of times, what I do is just make a taco salad. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's what I do. Yeah. I would do taco salad.
I'm not the guy. So like, people will go and get fake ice cream. They'll get fake this, they'll get fake that. I just don't do it.
I just won't eat it.
So if it comes to the point where like, oh, you can have this carb-free ice cream. No. What the F is that?
So I do like sweets.
Right.
I do like chocolate. I like Swedish fish. Those are my two Twizzlers. Mm-hmm. I love them. However, if I got 40 grams of carbs a day to use, I would probably just use it on that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's doable again.
So like, that Carb Manager, did you use Carb Manager?
Yeah, Carb Manager.
So I messed around with that app. That's a good app.
Yep.
And it gives you the cool thing is if you connect it to your like Apple Watch or your fitness or whatever, it gives you extra carbs through. So I was getting to the point when I was super disciplined with it that I was like, I couldn't eat the carbs that it was giving me from working out. Yep. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, so I was like, oh, I'm going to drink beer. so
for me, I don't want to have to put anything into an app.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. I want to be able to because if I have to, if I don't plan it and I'm doing it on the fly, I fuck up.
Uh-huh.
So like, I'll need to sit down and do my meal plan.
Yeah.
So like, I can do coffee in the morning with no sugar. No problem. I already do that now.
Yeah.
Lunch at 11. Which will be either just salami and cheese or turkey and cheese. I could do roll-ups. Mm-hmm. Perfectly fine. I'm good with that too. And then for dinner, I can do steak, chicken, shrimp, whatever, with a vegetable. And I'm good with that. Mm-hmm. And if I can just repeat that for 6 days, and then on day 7, I can have my carbs. Mm-hmm. Keep my calories still low.
Yeah.
But if I think I can make that work, and I can just stay disciplined, I fall off the wagon, and then one day turns into 2, 2 turns into 3, 3, 4, and so on.
Yeah.
But while I'm on the roll, it also works the other way. If I can keep the ball rolling,
yes,
I can keep that going.
It's just it's all momentum.
Right.
And because then you have all those good days behind you. You don't want to ruin. And I've always said, like, the hardest day back in the gym or back in doing whatever is the first day.
Right.
And then the second day, well, the second day to me comes something really hard because you already did it once and you're sore when it comes to like working out. Now a diet type thing, like the first day, okay, I did that. Second day, the third day. Well, then once you start getting on a roll, you don't want to ruin the progress you had. Mm-hmm. So like I got to the point where I would skip like, well, this is my cheat day. Nope, not doing it. I'm putting it off because I still want to to keep it rolling.
Right.
And I also know me that a cheat day turns into a cheat week. And so you say, oh, a cheat meal. A cheat meal turns into a cheat day, which turns into a cheat weekend, which turns into a cheat week. And next thing you know, I might as well have not done all the other shit. It's so far in the rearview mirror.
But here's the thing. If you planned your cheat day, it gives you that thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
Like if you know Monday is your carb day, I think you'd be less likely to eat carbs on the other 6 days. Because you know Monday's coming.
Yeah.
You just got to hold out.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I feel like when we lost the most amount of weight was when we were both losing weight at the same time.
Yeah, because they got competitive.
Exactly.
But my other thing for me is that I've tried and failed so many times,
Yep.
which is why I went to go. I just ran into my buddy and everything kind of came together. That it's like I've tried and failed so many times. How many more times am I going to try and fail? Eventually, I'm going to run out of time.
Right.
We're going to be cutting feet off for diabetes.
Yep.
And I watch, like my father-in-law has some health issues, and I watch him. That dude worked his ass off to move out of New York, build a beautiful retirement home down in North Carolina and all this, and he can't enjoy it because he's in the hospital all the time.
Right.
And in rehabs and dealing through this issue and that issue. And it's like, I don't want to, and then my mother-in-law can't do the things that she wants to do because now she has to help take care of him. So it's like, I don't want that for me. I don't want that for my wife. And I've tried and failed so many times that it's like, eventually you run out of attempts.
Right.
It's like one of those stupid tests at work. Like, you have 6,000 attempts to guess the right answers for these dumb questions. What am I on chance, 5,999? And then I'm out of chances because you run out of time. So.
And I get that part too.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost at the point, like I'm probably about 6 months to a year from where you are now. To the point where I'm just like, fuck it, I got to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing it myself.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of like it. Okay, let me give this one more go. It worked. I got to do it again.
Yeah.
Like I know it worked. It worked. I saw it work.
Yeah.
And that makes me think, okay, well, why can't I do it again?
Yeah. And then also, I have kids at home, as do you.
Yeah.
And they want to eat all the crap and all the junk. I let them, and it's in the house.
I've come to realize, though, it's going to be separate dinners.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Until they figure out that they can eat other shit, I'm going to have to make 2 dinners.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have chicken, steak. And they can have I'll make rice and they can have rice, but I'm not going to eat that rice.
Yeah.
I've kind of come to that realization with this. It's going to be different meals.
Yeah.
Or modified different.
Right. Now, you have some help in the kitchen, though, right?
I do.
See, I don't. If I'm making 2, I am making 2 dinners.
But the problem with that is the wife doesn't eat red meat. So that's why I'm like, it would be chicken, turkey, fish, and look, I'm not a big fish person. Like she'll make salmon. I like it enough. I'll eat it, but I'm like leading up to, I'm like, oh, fish.
See, I love fish.
I like different types of fish, but my kids only eat salmon.
Yeah.
So like, I don't get to eat like cod.
Yeah.
I love cod. Cod's delicious.
Yeah.
I like the texture of it better. So what I can do is, though, the nights where we're going to have salmon, I can also make cod.
Yeah.
We'll just get less salmon.
Yeah, because if I do fish, I have to make her chicken. That's I don't really like chicken.
Right.
It's boring. Like, I'd rather, and we've had the whole Thanksgiving turkey, the whole poultry wing of meat. Like, I'm like, yeah,
But she also eats red meat.
She does.
So you have that option.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
So
I could eat ribeyes every day.
Right. So, and here's the thing.
I go broke.
And you have, not really, you have that Sam's Club membership.
Yeah.
And again, if you buy it at Sam's or at Costco, it's cheaper than if you buy it somewhere else.
And if you buy...
buy the cheaper cut of meat. It's not like it's that big of a deal.
It kind of is.
Ugh.
I'm a snob.
Yes, you are.
Like, I kind of thumb my nose at New York Strip. Like, but...
I kind of dig it.
But, so there's this dude he's on all the socials. His handle's Meat Dad.
Okay.
He's a butcher. And what Meat Dad, like, he shows you how to save. He shows you all the scams of the supermarket. So, like, anything that's, so for chicken, for example, I stopped buying skinless, boneless. I buy the chicken breast, or I'll buy a whole chicken, and I do it myself. And I'll have because each chicken gives you 2 chicken breasts, 2 thighs. You also get the skin and the bones and all that stuff that you can make chicken stock with. So I'll go. It takes some time, but you go and do all that, and you're like, oh, wow, I saved a bunch of money. So if you go buy say you want ribeyes, and you go and you buy the cut-up ribeyes, they're going for $14.99 a pound or whatever it is. You're going to pay more money up front, but you can buy a prime rib, which is just a ribeye that's all together. And then you just cut that into steaks. You may have spent $150 on it, but you're getting a lot more out of it because you just cut the steaks yourself.
You can freeze it.
Yeah. And, you cut it up yourself, and then, you can make, and then any of the scraps that you get then become ground beef if you have a grinder. They can become steak tips, whatever you want to do. You have other things you can do rather than just going and buying your pre-cut prime ribs, and you're spending a lot more money for it. So with the money that I spend eating out, I could probably eat ribeye every day if I went and just bought the big chunk of meat and butchered it myself. So my buddy swears, he's a big fitness guy. He's like, dude, if you ate nothing but ribeye and asparagus, you'd drop 100 pounds.
Well, and that's what my doctor's telling me.
Yeah.
He's like, carbohydrates are not your friend.
Yeah.
And he goes, you don't need them. Like, he gave me a book about it, too. Like, something about nature wants us fat or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of the book, but I'll find it.
Yeah.
And that's that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Meat, vegetables. Don't even bother with fruit.
Yeah.
But meat and vegetables. That's it. If you just eat that, and there's a lot of good stuff there, and there's a lot of good recipes there.
Oh, yeah.
If you can eat that and be happy, you will drop a shit ton of weight.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying, if we do this and hold each other accountable, we can do this.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm still doing my thing, though.
I was going to say, you might not need to, though.
Yeah.
Because what if you just start eating ribeyes? Look at it this way. You go to Sam's Club, you buy the pack of 5 steaks. That's your 5 dinners. Now, if you want to buy them for the kids, that's fine too. I think if you don't buy the most expensive cut of meat, it's not that bad.
You could do sirloin.
I mean, think if it's $60 for 5, and I don't even think it's that expensive. You're talking about $12 per dinner. Throw in a head of broccoli and steak, broccoli and asparagus, or steak and asparagus. You're talking about maybe $14-15.
Yeah, steak and Brussels sprouts.
I do enjoy Brussels sprouts.
I love them,
but I also douse them in butter. But on this eating plan,
not a bad deal.
Butter's not bad.
Yeah. Neither's olive oil.
Correct.
Or bacon.
Or avocado oil. Or whatever. Just no seed oil.
Yep. Yeah, I do Brussels sprouts, onion, chop up an onion, the Brussels sprouts, and I just toss it in olive oil with whatever salt, even just salt and pepper. Then roast them in the oven. Yep. Oh, it's money.
My wife likes to do them in the oven.
Yeah.
I do them in the pan
Okay.
with the butter, and I saute them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I steam them first to get them soft, and then I saute them.
So then they're even good. If you go to like Cava, you get Brussels sprouts that are chopped up, and a salad. They're good raw too.
I don't like them raw. It's too bitter for me.
So another thing, like when I do, like I get the Brussels sprouts and I like quarter them. I'll halve them or quarter them depending on how big they are, and then I toss them, and of course, like the little leaves fall off. Well, then that's like the little leaves with olive oil and salt and pepper and some onion. Like that's like a little treat. It's like a cold salad I can just eat. I'm like, oh, because I used to just throw that away. I was like, oh wait, let me. So I ate one. I was like, oh, this is good.
But so for me, I'm gonna have to meal plan every week. I need to know what I'm doing every week.
Yeah.
And then I also need to know if I'm making something else for the kids. And if I am, I am.
Yeah.
But I gotta be. It's weird. It's like I feel like it's this time almost every year is when I kind of get like back into it. Like, okay, let's go. And then as soon as fall hits, it's like, no, never mind.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I weigh less now than I did starting last year.
Yeah, I do still.
So if I keep going in that pattern,
Yeah.
even if I do drop off the wagon at certain times, if I'm starting now less than I was the year before, then I'm net negative.
Yeah.
So maybe that. So I don't know. I will leave it. I'm going to do it either way.
Right.
I think I would have more success if I had someone else doing it, made it more of a competition, and also had someone else that's like just holding people accountable.
Yeah. No, I get it. That accountability buddy.
Kind of. And I don't even know. Like, it's not like you're going to like yell at me.
No.
Right? It's not that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you hold the person accountable. It's almost like you almost do it on your own because you don't want to let the other person down.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're doing it. I don't want to take a day off and have my fun, in air quotes, while you're not having your fun.
Right. It's like, and then it also comes down to like, oh, this sucks. I want to eat this. But you know what? Alex is doing it. So if he can do it, I can do it. You know, and it's
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they call that, the shared adversity.
Well, and the way we were doing it before was I was doing one thing, you were doing another.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't, not that we couldn't relate, but it was just like, okay, he's doing these things. I'm not waking up at 4:00 in the morning and going to power squat some stuff. It's just not happening. But some of the things but one of the things you convinced me to end up doing was going for the walk every day.
Mm-hmm. And Teddy helps you with that.
Well, he does.
Yeah.
And so that's starting to now be a routine. Do I do it every single day? No. But at least 3 to 4 times a week, I take at least a 15-minute walk around the neighborhood with that dog. It's not the fastest walk on earth because he's not the fastest thing on earth.
No.
But either am I.
Right.
We go, he's walking, he's sniffing.
Stick.
He finds us. Did I show you the picture?
He looks like a cigar.
Yes. I've got a degenerate dog.
Big Robusto, like Churchill hanging out of his mouth.
That's how he walks with sticks. Like most dogs, they carry it sideways.
Yeah.
Not this one. Like one time he had like a longer stick. I thought he would, like, I was like, if you put your head down a little bit, that stick's going to go through your throat. So at one day though, I took that picture. I sent it to I sent it to my wife. I sent it to you. I was just like, this fucking dog, man. But so I'm starting it. I know everyone says I'm going to start on Monday.
Yeah,
but that's when we do our grocery shopping, or we do the grocery shopping over the weekend.
Yeah,
and I got to give everyone in the house time to prepare for it happening.
Well, it's also good for you to prepare because I've decided to do these things, and I'll be like, all right, I'm starting Monday. And I do nothing to get ready for it.
Yep.
And then Monday comes along, or Sunday, and I go grocery shopping, and I'm just losing my mind.
Yep.
I decided I was going to do Whole30, and I went to Sam's Club, and I started buying the stuff that I seem to remember from when I did it in 2016. So here I am trying to recreate a shopping list from, 9 years ago, trying to piece this thing together in my head. And I'm like, this isn't working very well. And I get to the point where I'm like, I got overwhelmed. And I turned around and I re-put all the stuff back. I deleted the Sam's Club cart and was like, I was there for 3 hours because I did an entire shopping, got overwhelmed, put it all back, and then went and got, it was just so, I just lost. I was like, oh, it's too much. You kind of have to, plan it out.
Yep. And
have all your pieces set before you step off on your mission. Because if you don't, you're just going to.
Yeah. And I'm more likely to. I feel like the first meal is the easiest one. Because I could do rolled up meat and cheese for lunch. And
I could eat bacon and eggs every day for every meal. I love it.
It's the dinner part.
Dinners and dealing with other people, and then I have a picky eater, and then the kids, and it's I just get to the point where I just say F it, I'm done.
Yeah.
And screw it, just go to McDonald's. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't feel and that's one of the reasons what kind of led me down this path for bariatric surgery. is it takes up so much freaking bandwidth in my head. Mm-hmm. And I wake up in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, you fat piece of shit. And then I go to bed, I'm like, oh, you fat piece of shit. And then go through and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And it becomes like overwhelming. Like, it's just so much stuff going on.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. So, and then what do we do when, some people are like, eating good food releases dopamine. Mm-hmm. So like, oh, F it. I'm swinging through the drive-thru. And I get my, Big Mac meal and 2 large fries and a Coke, and I'm just happy as a pig in shit. But it
feels good.
Yeah.
Like when whatever the flavor is from that, it's probably salt, but whatever the flavor is from that burger or whatever, it hits your tongue, and all of a sudden your head becomes lighter.
Oh yeah.
Like it is a physical difference.
Yeah.
And how good it feels.
It's like, when I used to be a smoker, like that first, getting off an airplane and lighting that cigarette. It's like, there we go. That's the stuff. Because this is that dopamine release.
And the reason why I kind of brought this back up was because I told you I had the calcium score done.
Right.
And it basically shows you how much plaque you have built up in your arteries.
Uh-huh.
And where. So, in my heart, and I'll get I got the test over here. Okay, so in the left main coronary artery, I had a score of 46.
Okay.
Which isn't horrible. The left anterior, or I should say the left circumflex artery, 0. Great. Mm-hmm. Right coronary artery, 0. Doing good.
Yeah.
The left anterior descending artery, 115.
Ooh, that's bad.
Not great.
Okay. What's really bad?
1,000.
Oh, okay.
So this is, I'm on the way. But the problem with it being in that artery, so you've heard of the heart attack called the Widowmaker?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We just drop dead?
Yeah. That's this artery.
Okay.
That's where it happens.
Yeah.
That's my highest one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the scores, and here's how you kind of figure out how bad it is. So 0 is no identifiable plaque, very low risk, generally less than 5% of having a heart attack. Or coronary artery disease, I guess. Yeah. 1 to 10, minimal identifiable plaque. Not bad. 11 to 100, definite plaque, moderate risk. 101 to 400, this is where I am. I'm just inside. Definite plaque, moderately high risk. 401 plus, extensive atherosclerotic, high likelihood of at least one stenosis. That's medical terms for you're probably fucked.
You're fucked. Don't buy green bananas.
Right. And so I ended up going to the cardiologist. We're going to end up doing a stress test to see how get more data.
Yeah.
But my doctor put me on this supplement. And I'll be back. I'm going to get that too.
Okay. Is it far?
Right here.
Oh,
it's on my phone.
I want to know how to do some filler. We tell a joke or something.
Let's see. So part of the plaque, and we're running long, but I don't give a shit because we don't do these very often. The inside of your arteries have a layer called an endothelial layer. When that gets damaged, the cholesterol can add plaque underneath it. Mm-hmm. So you still have the sheath above it, but now this is underneath.
So it's bubble?
And it's hardening.
Okay.
If it does it enough, it closes and that's what ends up closing your artery. That's what's called plaque.
Okay.
This thing that he gave me was a supplement, and it's actually been reviewed by the NIH. So they've actually done studies on it. Now, keep in mind, there were only 6 people in the study.
In other news, Elon Musk has some kid named Big Balls on the Doge Department of Government Efficiency.
I heard that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's been really great watching all the CNN hosts say big balls.
That's weird, man. I don't know. So anyway, this supplement essentially can it can rebuild that layer,
Okay.
and then reduce the plaque.
Uh-huh.
And they did it with 6 patients, 3 men, 3 women, mostly in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And it reduced the amount of plaque over 6 months by, I want to say, the minimum was about 50%. So we're doing that to help reverse stuff. But that also kind of got me back on the kick of, all right, maybe I need to start. Again, health is coming. Health issues coming up.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't want to be the burden in my 70s and 60s or 70s if I make it that long.
Right.
So,
and you want to watch your kids grow up and do things, and you hit a certain age, you like before that, none of that shit matters. You're like, oh, I'm going to booze, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to do all this crazy shit. But then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, like I'm probably on not the home stretch, but I'm definitely more than halfway through. So
I'm probably close. Not close. Like, so let's put it this way. My dad's father died in his 80s. My mom's father died in late 80s. My uncle died from complications of diabetes in his 60s, but he didn't really take care of himself.
Yeah.
A la me. So,
yeah.
And then my dad had cancer and died in his mid 70s. But now on my mother's side, all the women in my family, they live forever.
Right.
Like my grandmother was 102. She had a sister who died over 100. I think she had a cousin that lived over. Like the genes on that side are ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, assuming no cancers happen or anything like that, or cancers that can't be cured or whatever, I think reasonably, all things being okay, 70s, even early 80s.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at...
But I am over halfway there.
Yeah. So my father died at 63. I mean, that's 18 years for me. Like, that's...
But he died from cancer, though.
Correct. Lung cancer, because he smoked cigarettes his entire life.
Correct. So as long... I feel like cancer is the outlier. Unless it's a pattern.
Right. My mother died from a gynecological cancer, so I don't have to worry about that.
Good spin on that.
Yeah.
Imagine getting cancer of the dick.
Dick cancer? Well, there is testicular cancer and prostate cancer. Those are male exclusive cancers.
True. Anyone die of dick cancer?
Dick cancer.
That's what we need a Jamie for. Jamie, is there dick cancer?
Right. I'm pretty sure they don't call it dick cancer. Yeah. There's a medical term.
Penile cancer, whatever.
Yeah, penile carcinoma.
Right. Pfizer is a drug for it.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Right.
The disease and the cure.
Yes.
My dad's father, biological father, he was an alcoholic. He died early 60s, maybe late 50s. His mom my grandmother was 80 something. And that was emphysema and complications of Alzheimer's. Let's see. On my mom's side, my grandmother died I think she was 79. And that was, she had already had a lung removed from lung cancer and continued smoking. So she was stubborn.
Kept that party going.
And then my mom's father was complications of diabetes. And he was probably 80, close to 80. So they lived longer on that side, but they didn't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, they would drink. I mean, they would smoke and drink, and so.
So they were fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Waspy fun.
So we'll do more health updates as we go along to see if any of this is working.
Yeah.
When you get the surgery, that'll be an interesting.
Yeah, and
it's a couple of months after.
Yeah,
that.
And there's also stuff leading up to it. Like I have a whole bunch of checks I have to get done, so preoperative type stuff. So I'll give updates on that for anyone that's thinking about it. That getting that sort of procedure done. That's just stepping off. I'll do the, jump on our, comment, share your story too, because, and if you're struggling with weight, if you want to join, go ahead.
We have the Discord now.
Yeah.
Which eventually you'll jump in.
Yeah, I just don't know what that is.
Myself and Jeremy are in that Discord if you guys want to chat with us. The link to the Discord's in the show description. I'll get Mike on there eventually if he decides to. You're like my mother with technology.
No, I'll do it. I just have other things I'm doing, which right now isn't a lot.
Yeah, you have nothing going.
I'm trying to watch
you got a lot of time.
I'm trying to watch every movie made.
In 7 minutes, you can create a Discord account, put the app on your phone. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there'll be another password I'll forget.
That's where you got to get a password keeper, man.
I know all that stuff.
Okay. All right, then. Again, you're like my mother with technology, which, by the way, I've got to go over there next week and set up her new computer for her. Which
should be fun.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Actually, that's why I got her a Chromebook. So literally, I'm going to open that Chromebook. I'm going to log in with her Google account, and everything should be there.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to do a damn thing.
Right. You say that.
Yeah, I know. In the back of my mind, I'm going, that's not going to be that easy. You know it won't. Like, I'm hoping that all the passwords, because she uses Chrome for all her so all of her passwords are saved in Chrome. So like when she wants to go to like her bank account, like I know it's the least secure thing to do, but for her it has to be this way.
Yeah. Because
she won't remember the password.
Right.
And then it becomes like a whole thing. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, the world is the sky is falling.
Yeah.
So I got to keep it as simple as possible. So, wish me luck.
Yeah.
I'll report back on that in about 2 weeks. And like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you to Adam Chubbuck for sponsoring this episode. We'll talk to you guys soon.